Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
The name of the church is The Light Fall at the End of the Tunnel, 2nd Baptist, 3rd Trimester, 2nd Brother Twice Removed, down the street around the corner from your baby mama's house. Church of Siloism, okay?
Suspend the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah. What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show. I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style. On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
To my right, a special guest today, the one and only Pastor CeeLo.
Yes, good people. It is the good pastor, Pastor CeeLo. Yes.
Yes, you might know him from the independent wrestling scene all around Ohio, Mega, or Exodus Pro Wrestling. He is the man with the holiest feet in the game.
Oh, I love how you put that out. The holiest feet in the game. Yes.
Is there anything I'm missing in the introduction, Pastor?
Oh, listen, let me give them the good introduction. All
Hit
right.
him with it.
I am the light fall at the end of the tunnel. And like he said, I am the man with the holiest feet in the game. I am the good one, the good pastor, Pastor CeeLo. Yeah.
Champion as well.
Oh, absolutely. 289 days worth of championship inside the holy body, yes.
We are coming to you live on WSRR Radio, your home for underground music, saving the underground music scene. 216-859-8699. Of course, that number to text in if you have questions or comments for Pastor CeeLo today. 216-859-8699. Again, that number to text in. And if you're listening in the Chicago area, make sure you hit up Synergy Music Studio for all your recording, mixing, mastering, and production needs. Synergy gets your next track, album, or radio ready. They are dedicated to working with local and independent music and the independent music scene to make your next track something special. Once again, synergymusicstudio.com. Let's get back to Pastor CeeLo here. Tell me what you've been up to in the wrestling game just off base.
Other than being God's champion.
I mean, when you are the Holy Spirit, I know this says Fighting Spirit Champion, but when you are the Holy Spirit Champion, there is no days off him, okay? We go from training to make sure the body is well. We go from, photo shoots. We go from shaking hands and kissing babies. We go everywhere around the city of, Cleveland. We go to Akron. We go to everywhere. And this doesn't stop in just Ohio. We're out in PA making sure we give the holy word. We're out in Michigan, Indiana. We're all over the place, baby. Yes. But through a normal life of your Holy Spirit champion is making sure that one in Exodus Pro, that me and my good brother, Pretty Boy Smooth dominate Exodus. And then as I am your Fighting Spirit champion in Mega, I make sure to keep this title tightly around my waist, yes.
Now, let me ask you this, Pastor. A lot of people say that wrestling is a sin. They say it promotes violence. It promotes all of these kind of abhorrent behaviors. What do you say to those people?
I would say that wrestling gives you a moment of freedom. You could be at work having a bad day. The part didn't fit right. The fries was too cold. It could be any situation, okay? But when you get to a wrestling show, you forget all your problems. Who doesn't want to see a man slammed on the back inside the ring? Who doesn't want to see a crazy choke slam from one of your big favorites?
Amen.
Who does not want to see a pile driver? Someone just popped right on their head. Yeah. Do I feel like wrestling is a sin? No. Oh, I wouldn't be there. There are many religious figures that have stepped inside the squared circle.
That is true.
And you know what? They've all gone down in history as legends in the business. I do this to give back to the people. I give back to the kids. I give back to the church. As long as they fill the offering tray, I give back, So.
Well, yeah, there has to be give and take.
Absolutely.
Right?
Give and take and give, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No question there. I would say, in your defense. I think you're there to cleanse the wrestling world.
I couldn't have said it better myself. You are amazing. I love what you do here. I love the place too. It's amazing.
Thank you, Pastor. Could we get a blessing for the studio?
Oh, yes, yeah. If could everyone bow their heads. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us here today at the radio station to bless all the ears listening right now with the wrestling knowledge of the Lord himself. And the good pastor, in his name, we say, amen, yes.
Amen.
Now, Pastor, it's been rumored that you do have some of the refs there attending your church, and they might lean towards giving you the win. Is that...
Not. Now listen here. I don't know anything about those accusations here. Okay.
Right.
Everyone attends the church. They attend the church because they want to hear the holy word. They want to hear the good word. They want to hear what the good pastor has for them at that point. Now I would hope that every referee that one of my matches, they call it right down the middle, just like the middle of the Bible. Call it right down the middle, okay? We no favoritism here. No favoritism, okay? Yeah.
Well, it's my understanding, too, your door is always open for any of the roster at any company you work for.
Oh, absolutely. Any roster, any ring that wants to feel the holiest feet in the game, I'm always open to it. Absolutely. I was sent here to the wrestling world to spread the good word and to collect the title belts. Yeah,
right, of course. Well, that's the offering. That's all that is.
Exactly. It's the offering to the man upstairs. I collect the belt. He's happy. It works hand in hand. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, let me ask you this. Traditionally, in a church, you're supposed to tithe 10%, they say.
Yes,
when you go to each of these wrestling promotions, do you think 10% is really enough in terms of championship gold? Are you happy with 10?
No, but you know what? The Lord is happy with the 10, okay? Now, me, myself, I feel like I do a lot of work. I put my body on the line.
Right.
I get hit. I get choked. I get slapped. I get thrown around. But it's for the people. I make sure I do all this for the people themselves. I want to make sure that they are getting their amusement. I hope that I am bringing joy to their lives. So you know what I do? I do it for them. I do it for them. And you know what? I take that 10% because the Lord says, take the 10%. So, I just take it. I just do what he says, It's all I can do.
Happy to take the 10%, but always striving for more.
Hey, a little more never hurt, just saying.
All right, let me ask you this. You mentioned that the door is always open for any member of any roster into your church. Is there anyone on the current Exodus roster right now that you think needs to be attending more frequently?
You see, I feel like every single person on the Exodus roster needs to be attending the Church of Siloism. And you know what? The problem is, I think they forgot where the church was located.
Okay.
So let me remind y'all about the church. Okay, the name of the church. Okay, this is the name. I'll tell you the name. The name of the church is... The light fall at the end of the tunnel, 2nd Baptist, 3rd Trimester, 2nd Brother Twice Removed, down the street around the corner from your baby mama's house, Church of Siloism, okay? Now, the
rolls off the tongue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the directions and the name. You would think it's easy to find. You just go around the corner of your baby mama's house, boom, there's a church.
Right.
Okay? But they seem not to know because they don't show up. Even the Overlord, EC3 himself attends the church. You would think everybody would follow a man of that stature, but they do not. They do not. No.
Is the Overlord doing his tithing?
Yes, you already know.
Just want to make sure.
He knows. I respect him. He respect and we respect each other. Absolutely, yes.
Well, what kind of teachings go on here at the church?
We teach you about we teach you about everything that there is to be good. Now, when I say good, you have your normal good. You have your GOOD. You have good, okay? Things are good. It's good weather outside. I have a good car, But when you are good, you got to throw a few extra O's in there, okay? That's a step higher. That's more enlightenment for you. We tell many stories in there. We tell the stories of the books of the Bible. Do you know the story about Adam and Eve, correct?
Course,
Everyone knows that story. But did Did you know they had relationship issues? Okay.
I've
Now,
heard.
there was this one situation, okay? All right. So Adam decided, I'm going to go down and go get the McRib. He wanted the McRib, all right? It was back in town. He was like, let me go get the McRib. So he goes and gets him a McRib.
The McRib does always cause issues.
It does cause issues. Now, he came back with the McRib. Now, Eve is sitting there on the couch, all hair up in a bun, sitting there eating an apple. And he's like, well, what's the matter? You took my first McRib, so I went and bought myself another McRib. So she just got mad and walked away eating her apple. He's like, well, why are you mad? Why do you have clothes on? What is going? They had marriage issues. The Bible don't talk about that, but the pastor gonna talk about that. The pastor will let you know. We get into so many things at the church. We need to make sure that people know the word of the good pastor. So yes.
Now, obviously, you're reading from the Holy Book.
Oh, absolutely. No other book better.
I would assume you might have some other doctrine in your Church of Siloism.
We try not to really change the word of the Lord too much. I mean, we don't add a lot. Okay, we did maybe add an extra book called the Book of Siloism. But anyway, it was just a chapter in the book. It was just a chapter in there, just a chapter, because we got to keep things updated. Because you already know, when they wrote the holiest Bible, they wrote it many centuries, millenniums ago. We got to keep it updated with this time and this day. We got to keep up with the Joneses.
Hey, the Catholic Church does the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
You're no different than them.
No different. No, a little different, but no different. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit.
Well, probably in a good way.
Yes. I take that in a good way. Absolutely.
Good difference.
Oh, I love it. He's catching on. He is catching on, people.
I'm learning from the best.
Yes.
Learning from the pastor. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Absolutely.
I got to bring this up.
Okay.
I've seen you live. I've seen you in Exodus.
Oh, thank you.
And you're always dressed like you're fresh out of the pulpit.
Oh, man.
How difficult is it to get the job done in the ring while dressing for the job in the church?
There's no outfit that can prepare you for things that happen inside the ring. As we all know, Pretty Boy Smooth was your first and should have been your only NWA Midwest champion. I had to make sure at any cost we are protecting our investment. We are protecting our champion. So there's been a few times I've had to pop up in the ring, talk to the referee, right. Just make sure that he's everything down the middle. We spoke about this earlier. Everything down the middle, like the Bible, And it was just my duty, as as a brother, as an advisor to Pretty Boy Smooth, to just make sure he kept the title. Now, unfortunately, we had some mishaps. He may not have it anymore, but that doesn't matter, because we're still going to take on the toughest and the top talent that Exodus has to bring, that they have to offer, that they can pay for, because the reign of Pretty Boy Smooth might be over, but his dominance will not change.
Well, I think the world title's the next in line.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? When we say the world title, we mean WWE world title. We need to be up in there, getting that little WWE ID Pro. We need their titles. That's the next thing. We're going somewhere up there. We're going to figure it out. Yeah.
Well, they say that the meek shall inherit the kingdom, right?
Oh, yes. Preach, brother. Yes.
Now that you're on the defense, now it's time to inherit.
Yes. And it's time to inherit all the gold, the follows of the people, the love of the people. It's time to inherit everything. It's time to bring ourselves from middle class up to the top class.
Now, you mentioned some mishaps. Obviously, you're no longer holding the championship is Pretty Boy Smooth.
Yes.
I'm not making any allegations, but I've read on the rumor mills, on the dirt sheets online, there might be some Judas-like scenarios in the future. Is that something you're concerned about?
No, you know what? No, because me and PB are on the same page, all right? We are two individuals so very close to being NWA stars. They just ain't seen it yet. We are the next ones to be the faces of NWA. We are brothers like no other. We may have two different mothers, but we still brothers. That's what I have to say about that.
Well, when we come back to the bank, we'll hear more from Pastor CeeLo, 216-859-8699, and of course, that number to text in.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Hi, this is Melissa.
And hey, it's Matt.
Coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
This is Preston Harden, creator of True Vault Escapades, a show combining my love for the Fallout games and old-time radio of days gone by. If you're looking for a classic detective show set in the retro-futuristic post-apocalyptic wasteland, this is definitely for you. You can find us on any podcatcher like Apple or Spotify, and hear it exclusively here on WSRR Radio every weeknight at 10 p.m. Tune in today and prepare for the future.
Are you ready, kids? It's me, distinctively non-copyright, unspecified Sponge Man, and you're listening to the Rebel Radio Show on WSRR. Make the switch.
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. We're joined by the one and only Pastor CeeLo today.
Yes.
Pastor, you're going to have to forgive me here, because for a minute, I know we're talking about heaven and God's glory today, but I've got to talk about Hellbender Vinyl. They're Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plants. They're one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants, and they work specifically with the independent music scene in Pittsburgh and nationwide to make sure your next album is something more than a bunch of just ones and zeros floating around online. So if you want to make your next album release something special, get it pressed with Hellbender Vinyl. Go to hellbendervinyl.com today. And remember, every customer gets 5 free test presses at no additional charge because they're hellbent on quality, hellbent on service at hellbendervinyl.com. Hopefully you can forgive me for saying hell that many times.
You know what? I forgive it. I forgive. See, because it was for a good reason, good advertising. So you know what? You are blessed. You are blessed.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Let's talk a little bit about your championship endeavors here.
Thank you. So, oh man, see, it's crazy to, think about winning a title in wrestling, but when you actually win it, it is a crazy and unbelievable feeling to put in so much work to be set on one thing. And one thing I was set on was this title here. And it all started last year at Breaking Down Barriers with Mega Championship Wrestling, where at the time, the champion was El Tic Taco. And you know what? The crazy thing with El Tic Taco, he didn't really defend the title. He kind of ran around kicking everyone in the nuts. Okay. All right. It was a weird situation. He would cheat everybody by kicking them in the nuts. He even got me once, okay, or twice, or maybe 3 times. It wasn't a good time.
Not in the Righteous Gemstones.
But I had the opportunity to win the Breaking Down Barriers Battle Royal for a shot at this right here. And I claimed it. And ever since then, 23 title defenses, almost at 365.
Somebody, not myself, of course.
Okay.
But some might say there's an unfair advantage here. that not only are they fighting you in a title defense, they're fighting you and the Lord. It's kind of a Vince McMahon situation.
Now, let's say here. Now, let's talk about them. Let's talk now. Okay, maybe just a little bit. It's not a big disadvantage. Just a little bit. Okay, so the Lord is always in my corner.
Absolutely,
he's always there. He is always, even though you can't see him, he is in front row at all the shows. Like, he is making sure everything is going good. Now, does he intercept himself into the no? I might allow Jesus to take the wheel for one moment in the match, but other than that, like, the Lord, he trusts his good pastor. I am his faithful servant. He trusts the work that I do. He has no need to get involved in all of the matches. He may be involved in one, but not when I won this one. Not when I won this one. Absolutely no. That was on me.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Absolutely, yes.
We've seen your services with Pretty Boy, and now I need to ask, in the future, looking forward to title defenses.
Yes.
Are we going to see more of the ministry team? Do you have any form of vision for a deacon? Maybe some clergy members?
Anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. Right now, with me and PB and Exodus, we've been all we've needed to get the job done. Not saying there's not room for more, but we have been what's needed to make things happen. Now in Mega, I do lead my own faction, and it is the faction called the Army of Sin. All right. Now, people are like, now, good pastor, how are you sinning? You can't be calling your faction. Now,
no one is without sin.
Exactly. You can't have the light without the dark and dark without the light. It's the yin and the yang. You got to have both. All right. And my biggest thing is making sure that the people of Mega follow their good pastor, follow the word, but they haven't been doing that. So sometimes when the cheering don't listen, you have to be a little more stern about that.
Sure.
You have to bring the word a little bit harder, and that's what the Army of Sin is about, and that includes myself, my big man, and we call Wrath, and the Mega Baddies champion, Pepper Pride. Now, that is all we currently need, but again, there's always room for more. There's always room for God's children in the Army of Sin, or with me and PB. Yes.
I think it's a bit hypocritical anyone saying that the Army of Sin is against the religion, is against the church.
Oh, no.
I look at it the same as a small group, a Bible study.
Yes, a Bible study. You see, look, we need to book him. Mega, we need to book this man. I feel like he would be great in armies. I feel like he'd be a good. Yes.
I'm just here to serve the church.
Oh, thank you.
So that's all I'm doing here. Putting in my good works so they'll carry over,
Oh, yes. They'll carry over in this life, the afterlife, and the next life. Absolutely.
All right. Tell me a little bit more about the Army of Sin. Give me a deeper dive into how this all came about.
You see, again, kind of tying back to this. When I won the title, El TikToker was furious. Of course, someone of my stature finally defeating him and taking him off of his throne. So he decided he was going to go back into time. Now, I didn't think that this was possible, but he showed me it was with a device called the Flux U. And it's crazy because it took us back to the 70s. We were in the 70s for a moment. And then at some point when I and him got a hold of this Flux U, it switched everything back, but things felt a little different.
Sure.
Okay. It felt like people weren't respecting the pastor as they should. And for some reason, El TikToker decides now he's the pastor. He's trying to take all my work, all my good doings, and he's twisting it. He's flipping it everywhere. People, if you ever get a chance, check out El TikToker on Facebook. You will see exactly what I mean. He is pretending to be a pastor, and I can't put up with it. So I have to lay the holy hand down.
That sounds like heresy to me.
I had to make sure that, one, he never gets his hand on this title ever again. So I created the Army of Sin to protect me, protect myself from TikToker. But it seems like he's starting his own little faction. He has an old man with him. Have you seen an old man in a wrestling ring? That man can even run the ropes, and he's trying to wrestle. I don't understand what's going on with this picture. But, my headphones falling off. There we go. I got a small head. Don't you worry. All right.
Old men do not belong near that wrestling ring.
No, they do not.
From what I've heard, they get
ring.
dehydrated and they pass out at ringside.
But for some reason, he takes a honey pack and he's great. I'm not sure what's in these honey packs, where they're getting them from. He takes a honey pack and he's like Superman. It's a weird situation. Okay?
Supernatural honey packs.
Yes.
This immortal youth in the old.
Absolutely.
And a fake pastor.
And
this sounds like the work of the devil to me.
It is definitely the work of the devil. So I had to make sure that I had much protection in whatever could be coming in, the end of days, the revolution. No one knows right now. Like, this is insane, Who would want to, impersonate a pastor?
Who would do that?
Exactly. El TikToker would. I'm telling you, he does, yes.
Absolutely abhorrent. Just absolutely abhorrent. You think you need to get him to confession?
I need to get him to confess. I need him to, just tell the people. Why? Is it just because you couldn't have this belt back? That's the reason you want to be me so badly, I don't even have time. I have to get to other companies. I have to make my name known everywhere around Ohio, the United States, Canada, Mexico. I have to get everywhere. I don't have time to worry about TikTok.
You're busy making disciples.
I'm busy spreading the word and making disciples.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
Let me ask you this. We've seen the likes of asylums. We've seen chambers and cages and Punjabi prisons. We've seen the shark cage match. How about a confession booth match?
Ooh, see, I like that. I even thought of a holy water match. The first baptism match, the first one to be baptized.
I like that.
Yeah, you see, we can even do, we can bring back the coffin match. Like, I'll say a little prayer for you at your funeral, and we'll make sure you have a good day along your way up to the sky. But you know what? I feel like the first baptism match is a way to absorb the sins of my victims, to make sure that they don't do it again. Like, I'm trying to help these people.
Whether it's the baptism match or whether it is a buried alive match, you could have your own Lazarus on hand.
Yes, I love it. Yes.
And I think that's where we start looking at disciples. I think that's where we start looking at possibly a deacon or a clergyman.
We are looking for people.
Just throwing out ideas.
Yes.
I'm no booker, man, but I'm just throwing out ideas.
You sure. You was giving some good ideas. You sure.
Not for this organization.
All right.
And not till the checks start coming in.
You're right. Yeah, got to be about the money.
Tithing, my bad. Tithing,
yes.
Tithing, of course. So what's next for the good pastor and Mega?
Oh, see, you know what? Normally, we have a show coming up here soon. Chilling like a villain. All right, chilling like a villain. It's going to be a great turnout. We always have great crowds and things like that there. Great food, great matches. I mean, you're going to see individuals like Alex Daniels in the ring. You're going to see tag teams like Philly and Marino, Onyx and Butchie B. Now, unfortunately, one person you will not see there will be your good pastor. I will be taking my talents down to Alabama for Hard Times 5 with the NWA.
All right.
Now, even though I won't be there, still go support the local wrestling, please.
For more info on that when we come back, 216-859-8699. And, of course, that Rebel Hotline.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, All customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Hey, I'm Lucas Durazio.
And I'm Dom Farrow.
And we're the hosts of WSRR's new Cleveland sports talk show from Pittsburgh.
So, of course, we got to talk a little Steelers, but we're also going to be talking about your Cleveland Browns.
Talking about that rivalry, those hard-hitting matchups, the AFC North. Me and Dom might do some hard-hitting because we get physical and fight each other on the air.
Tune in to find that 10 a.m. for new episodes on Mondays, WSR Radio.
Behind Enemy Lines is the name of the show, by the way. We forgot to say it. Behind Enemy Lines, Mondays at 10 a.m. for new episodes on WSRR Radio. That's the promo. Cut it there.
Whoever's the owner of the gray sedan, you left the Rebel Radio show playing.
Yes, we're back live on WSRR Star Radio, 216-859-8699, that number to text in. Pastor, we mentioned the fact that you're very well dressed. Whether you're in the ring or out of the ring, you're always ready to deliver your message. There's a lot of people you're in the ring with that don't have the same standards and fashion as you.
No.
I've got an easy way to fix that, though.
Oh, okay.
All they gotta do is go to genericlothes.com because nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with genericlothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense. There's no need to pay $60 for a shirt just because it has a black swoosh on it. Why not get a shirt that says something like religious belief, sports teams, religious holiday, spiritual, or anything you can imagine at genericlothes.com. Once again, genericlothes.com, a proud supporter of WSRR Radio and the live and independent music scene. genericlothes.com. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point. I need to get to the point of what we were talking about before we went to break here because you got a big event coming up. You're going down to Alabama. Keep talking about that because we got cut off short there.
Down in Alabama, absolutely. Yes, NWA Hard Times 5. Oh man, it's gonna be a great show. I don't have too much information just yet on what we're going to be doing and things like that down there. But it's very safe to say that I will be with PB. PB will dominate whoever he comes in contact with in that match. And the people are just going to love seeing the combination of one of the greatest and holiest voices in NWA and the big man, the 6'9" skyscraper of an individual dominating inside the ring. We're a perfect combination of what we offer and what we give inside the ring. And like I said before, NWA is starting to see it. They are starting to see that they have two great upcoming stars right there in their faces. We are dollar signs to these people.
The NWA going to Alabama with the good pastor.
Yes.
It could be the biggest religious movement in Alabama since Martin Luther King.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, Martin Luther King. And it's February. Absolutely. Yes. It's going to be a great move. No. It's going to be a good movement.
Yes,
a good movement for all the people in Alabama. But you know what? It's going to be an even better movement when me and PB get those contracts. It's going to be a great movement then, because then we are going to take our talents everywhere, to every state, making sure that everyone knows the words of PB and CeeLo. Yes.
No, I'd say that is good for business.
Oh, it's very good, yes.
We brought up Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a couple questions to ask you.
Oh, sure.
You mentioned at the start of the broadcast there have been many holy men to step in the squared circle. I want to know how Pastor CeeLo would fare against some of these other known and infamous pastors, so to speak.
Okay.
How would you fare against Joel Osteen in the ring?
Oh, now Joe, I feel like me and Joe Osteen, we can be friends. I feel like he about the dollar bill. I'm about the dollar bill. I feel like, and he has a wonderful church. Have you seen his church? His church, now, it's not as big as my church. Mine is about like 3 stories bigger, but
and a longer name.
Exactly, much longer name. Like, and it's easy to find. I'm not sure what his is, but mine's easy to find. But I feel like we could be friends. I feel like Joel could be a cool. Now about him hiding the money in the walls.
Right
Now, That's a great idea. I didn't think about that. You could hide all those walls I got.
And you have big walls.
Exactly. Yeah. And they empty. There ain't much in them.
That's a waste of space if we have empty walls.
Yes, absolutely. Great guy.
Well, if you get along with Joel Olston, you might get along with the next pastor I have on the list too, because he has quite the affliction for styling and profiling himself. What about Kenneth Copland?
Oh, you know what? You threw it nail on the head. Style, because the good one has to come in looking flashy, with our flashy vestments and garments, and I just got a little bit of jewelry, not a lot, but a little bit of jewelry. But I know he's decked out. I love the style, love it.
The two of you could have a good time together.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, we can drink holy water together. It'd be great. It'd be a good time. See, everyone's catching on. It's like a disease. It's catchy.
Now we're seeing more of a stable form than any kind of rivalry with these matchups. Let me throw out someone who's not necessarily an actual reverend, but by name. What about Reverend Al Sharpton?
Oh, Reverend Al Sharpton. You know what? Look, I respect Reverend Al Sharpton, but the only I don't respect the little comb back hairdo. I don't respect that. We all know that he has a bald spot in the middle of his head, but he keeps combing it back and trying to cover it. Brother, let it breathe. Just let it go. Comb it all, cut it all off at this point, But he's an okay individual. He's cool. He can come to the barbecue.
All right, how do you fare? He can come to the barbecue?
No, absolutely.
All right. How do you fare against the sinister minister himself, James Mitchell?
Oh, Mr. James Mitchell. You know what? Me and Mr. James Mitchell have not yet had a one-on-one, a face-off just yet. But, I've seen his work. I've seen all the work he's done over the years in wrestling. It would be an honor to step in the ring and give him some good words of encouragement for the future. Absolutely.
Could be looking at the new church.
Oh, the new
CeeLo
church.
and James Mitchell.
Absolutely. Anything could happen, I'm just saying.
Never say never, right?
Never say never. Absolutely.
All right, I got to bring up L. Ron Hubbard, the father of Scientology.
Now science. Now,
L. Ron Hubbard can get these. Honestly,
L. Ron Hubbard's taken quite the beating on this show before,
and if he ever wants to step in the ring, he's gonna take more of a beating. I'm just saying. We know what's real around here, and what's real is the low, the man upstairs, the G man. The lout. All right. That's all. That's what I got to say about
now,
it.
My one concern with that, you might be outnumbered. These Scientologists, they tend to run in packs.
Oh, they can run in packs. But see, I have an army behind me. I have a 6'9" skyscraper behind me. What am I worried about? You know what? You want to settle these issues? Step inside the squared circle. I will defend my title against all of them and put them all to shame.
Not only the best dressed in the ring, but also adorned in the armor of the Lord, right?
Absolutely. Just doing the work of the Lord.
All right, well, we talked about L. Ron Hubbard. Let's go to his counterpart in the Pope. How do you fare against the Pope in the ring?
The Pope has a big following. The Pope has a very, very big following,
hat.
And a very big hat. Almost bigger than some of the old ladies' hats that
big
are coming
enough to
into
put
the
money
church.
in.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Now, I should adopt a big hat, and then in that hat, I won't even carry around the offering tray anymore. I'll be like, put it in my hat. I will kneel down, put your money in that. I like that. Pope is on to something. He is on. I need to talk to him.
He can hook you up with a tax-free city too.
Absolutely, tax-free. Churches love tax-free.
That's
That's how we operate. So thumbs up for me. Thumbs up.
What about the other Pope, D'Angelo De Niro?
He's a good brother. He is a great brother. I always love the little glasses with the little crosses on them and all that. And then he hits him with the double knees in the ring. He is a great brother. Great brother. You know what? There may be a spot for him in the army of sin.
For Brother Burke?
Absolutely. Why not? Elijah, a legend he's a legend. Period. Like, great man, beautiful man, great man, awesome.
And of course, I've got to bring up Reverend Devon.
Oh, Reverend Devon. The crazy thing about Reverend Devon is that he's my idol. He is the reason that I decided to take wrestling and being a pastor and put them together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He is Brother Devon, his shtick all the way through WWE. Oh, it was breath divine. It's just amazing sight to see religion and wrestling being held hand in hand with each other.
Well, to that, I'll say this. You're much of the modern day Sergio Gutierrez. Now, for those that don't know, this is the man, the inspiration behind Nacho Libre.
I'll take that.
A clergyman turned luchador.
Absolutely.
How do you think he'd fare against Jack Black in the ring? That's a big man.
He's a big man. He is a big man. But I didn't win this title just fighting small men. I've had to overcome the small, the big, the ugly. I've had to overcome all of them. So, Mr. Jack Black, unless he starts singing the Peaches song, all right, I might be able to take him. But if he starts singing, I might lay down. I'll take the 3 count.
You could handle School of Rock, though?
I can handle School of Rock. I can handle School of Rock. Absolutely.
That's the most important part.
Yes.
All right. Like the modern day David taking down Goliath, you're no stranger to fighting big men in the ring.
No, never. And you know what? Even if I were just a little shaky in the boots, I always have someone behind me to help me out, and that's the man upstairs. Yes.
Well, and PB.
And PB, yes, and PB too. Absolutely. Can't forget about PB.
So tell me how that connection got its start.
So the start of Exodus, because I've been there since day one of Exodus, it was my duty to make sure when I come out and I start wrestling that I come out big. And they were having a big battle royal for, well, I think it was
that the Mike Faber battle royal?
Yes. Mike from State Farm, absolutely. It's crazy because, the only reason we had Mike from State Farm is because Jake from State Farm was busy.
Right.
So we had Mike, and Mike wanted to throw his State Farm money around, and who wins it? Me, of course. Me, my skills in the ring, making sure I eliminate everybody out of the ring. And then he decides to do it again and again. And who's the winner? Three-time State Farm check winner, the good Pastor Zelo. Now, as I'm winning this money, I see everyone's getting jealous. They all want a piece of what I've won. So it's like I need someone to protect what I'm building right here. And that's when Pretty Boy Smooth came into the picture. Who is going to fight him? Who's going to stand up to him? Not nobody. So he was the perfect individual to make sure that, he gave me good protection. I paid him well. I paid him very, very, very well to make sure that he protected me and my earnings. But then a certain individual got injured before their title fight. So it was in my best interest to put Pretty Boy Smooth's name in that hat. Absolutely. To be the first NWA Midwest champion. And it went from him protecting my investments to me protecting our investments.
A true partnership.
Absolutely, a true partnership.
Now, you mentioned the Mike Faber State Farm Battle Royal. I was there for the inaugural Battle Royal.
Oh, yes.
And there was some controversy. There was some controversy with some people, not myself, saying that you were in there for unholy purposes, for unjust reasons to win that money. I couldn't say further from the truth.
No.
How would you address those allegations?
See, I was in that Battle Royal, first of all, to make a statement. You were on the first show of Exodus Pro. You have to go in and make a statement for yourself.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, that money didn't go to jewelry and things like that. It did not. Of
course not.
Went back to the people, to the homeless, making sure that they have what they need to survive and things like that. So all that money was funneled to a good place, a very good place.
There just happen to be coincidences. People are going to try and find association all the time.
Just because, I come out with a chain or two, they're like, oh, what are you spending that money on? I didn't spend it. I've been had this shit. I won it out of a gumball machine, actually.
There you go.
So it's not even worth that much. It's like 50 cents,
Sure.
So that money went to a good place. Yes.
Now, when you win one of these State Farm Battle Royals, do you get a decent rate on your insurance?
So that was the thing. I didn't. I did not at all. Actually, every time, because I had State Farm at the time. I had their insurance company at the time. I didn't tell him. I guess he found out because they started not covering everything. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what happened, but they said I wasn't covered anymore. And I'm like, well, that makes no sense. I tried to call him. He doesn't answer me anymore.
He's big timing you.
He's big timing me.
He's getting in the wrestling game.
Exactly. He has his first match finally, and he thinks he's all big and bad. He doesn't answer my phone call. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. That's
Turning
why I go
his back on the church.
That's why I go to the general anyway. So.
Is it easy to insure your car? I imagine it's much like the Pope Mobile.
Oh, yeah. It's very, very easy. They make it simple. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're protected on the road.
Gotta be protected on the road and in the ring. Need protection 24/7.
Absolutely.
He's got Jesus to take the wheel.
Yeah, I got Jesus to take the wheel. Yes.
Well, speaking of NWA Exodus, the Ides of March are coming up. You guys have an event for that as well.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, we will be having an event coming up now. I can't give out too much information of what's going to be going on that day, but as I continue to say, dominance is what's going to happen. All right. Every March we have it on the 15th, and the 15th being that was back in the Greek days, correct?
Yes,
correct?
Julius Caesar.
Yes, exactly. Julius Caesar, the Caesar salad. Yes. It was a great thing. Caesar salads are great, but
love their pizza too.
They got good pizza. They know what they're doing.
And affordable, so they
very
can
affordable.
pocket the money.
Absolutely. They learn from the good one. They are
True.
learning.
It's the Lord's pizza, I've heard.
Exactly. Add a little pepperoni.
Hot and ready, right? Yes. All right. So the Ides of March coming up, of course, on the 15th of March. Exodus Pro Wrestling. How do you see your future playing out with Exodus Pro? You guys have grown exponentially over the past year or two here.
I don't see much changing, but more growing. Because, we're starting to do sponsorships for Exodus Pro, getting our name out there, allowing local companies to, sponsor wrestlers or just be sponsored on the show itself. We're going to expand. We're going to be everywhere. Every show that you see that's not Exodus Pro, you're going to see an Exodus Pro wrestler there. We are doing big things, and with 2025, it's just going to get bigger.
And hopefully, with more sponsorship coming in, you don't have more people from sponsors getting in the ring, getting hurt, and pulling out. Exactly. It's not what you want to see.
It's not what you want to see, but anything could happen, so.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
If we got you one-on-one with Mike Favors, how does that match turn out?
Not good in his favor. Get it? Favor. Not very good for the man. You know what? He just had a match against Brandon Beretta. His first match. Now, I'm not going to lie. He did okay. He survived. He didn't die. And you know what? That's the most important thing. He didn't die. But you're going into the ring versus the pastor with PB outside the ring, and you also have the Lord looking down. It's almost it's a 3-on-1 match. He doesn't want those issues. He doesn't want those problems. He
wants that workman's comp.
He may, but we don't offer that here in wrestling. We don't offer that here, okay?
Well, here's the real issue. He thinks he's covered because he sells insurance. What he doesn't understand is when you step into the ring with Pastor CeeLo and you get clobbered, that's not an insurance write-off because that's an act of God, unfortunately.
Exactly. And when I pick you up and I hit you with that final testament, and I drop you square on your head, neck region, both, probably both of them. I like to hit both. There's no insurance that's going to be able to cover you at that point. All that weight coming down on your neck, crushing, you see this, that. It doesn't matter who you have for your insurance policy because they can't fix what the pastor has done, yes.
Well, let me ask you this. Looking forward to the future, you talked about taking championship gold, not just in Mega, not just in Exodus, not just in NWA, but all across the board. You threw out WWE ID, you threw out the WWE Championship. In your future, and I'm not saying 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, just in general, who do you have your eye on that the good pastor needs to meet in the ring? Who's been up to some sinful nature that needs to get some final judgment in the ring from you?
Well, there are many people. There are people that I've already shared the ring with that I would love to share the ring with again. But if there's, a few that are on my list, one in the independent scene, Dan the Dad. I've seen him. I've seen his character work. I've seen, just how he is a very stern father to these people, okay? He's very stern about what he does. And you know what? I feel like a little holiness will even him out a little bit, okay? I feel like a little holy feet will knock him down the sides. I feel like he needs to hear the good word personally, Another one, Danhausen, the man that carries the jar of teeth around.
Sir.
Does he think he's the tooth fairy? He can't be just walking around throwing teeth at people and things like that. He also needs to feel the holiest feet in the game. He also needs to hear the good words.
I couldn't agree more. You can't have someone who's very evil running around the wrestling game. He needs someone in the ring with him who's very good.
Yes. Yeah, I get you're very nice, very evil, but you can't be both. You gotta be one or the other. So I'm gonna help you out. You can be Mr. Very Evil, but I will be very good. Yes.
And of course, not to mention the obvious here, but there's only one of you here with a belt.
Yeah, you know what? You make a great point. What's his belt? The only souvenir he has is a jar of teeth. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
He's collecting teeth. He's being evil. He's going on cruises. He's going to Comic-Con. Meanwhile, you're preaching the good word in the center of the ring, putting sinners down in their place.
And making sure that they are blessed and they never do it again. You got to make sure they never do it again. Absolutely.
Well, listen, I know you've got the collection plate for your church. We need to pay the bills here at WSR Radio. So we're going to come back after this break. 216-859-8699. That number to text in. Well, again, I know we talked about it earlier, but you guys have a show coming up, the Ides of March with Exodus. Tell me a little bit about that again here.
With that, pretty much, I will be managing PB again, doing all the fun stuff, causing controversy and different things like that. I believe this show, it would be him and Calvin Tankman going one-on-one, which would be two big men just beating the crap out of each other. So it's going to be a great show. But the Exodus shows are getting bigger. Like, I know last show we were still putting chairs out and we were into like the second match.
Oh wow.
Like people are really recognizing like, oh, Exodus is here to stay. But I mean, you're going to see, EC3, Richard Holiday, who else is there? Sam Beal, Mamba and G's, like a lot of guys. Like it's going to be a great show. There's a lot of characters. The Slime Balls, Carson Drake. Like there are a lot of different characters for everyone to enjoy there.
Absolutely. If you haven't been out to see an Exodus Pro Wrestling show, I highly encourage you to do it. If you haven't been out to see a local wrestling show either, Exodus is the perfect place to start because, like you said, there is that something for everyone.
Absolutely.
And there's wrestling, there's character work, and there's production, which makes it all come together perfectly. It is just like going to see an NXT, essentially, but for the NWA. And, like you said, there's those big names on the card as well for anyone who's been out of the game for a while who might want to get back in. So Exodus Pro Wrestling, make sure you check it out on all their socials. Where can they follow you?
Oh man, you type in Pastor CeeLo on any social media from Facebook to Instagram, Twitter. Definitely follow me on TikTok. Like that's where you'll get a lot of like match clips, promo clips, like a lot of stuff there. But yeah, pretty much anywhere on social media, type me in. I'm definitely there.
Well, Pastor CeeLo, Mega Fighting Spirit Champion, thank you again for joining us today on such short notice.
Thank you.
We got to thank Chelsea as well for setting all this up. Make sure you check out her as well. You can check out all of the Exodus Pro wrestlers through their website and go to Exodus Pro Wrestling online. And for all of our programming, schedule, showtimes, and more, WSRRradio.com is the place to go. Of course, that number 216 859-8699 to text into all of our shows. That works for us. Live at 5 every Monday is the Rebel Radio Show. You can get us on Live 365 or WSRRradio.com. But there's a whole litany of other shows and programming, like your morning drive. You get music interviews in the morning. You get Behind Enemy Lines. That's the Cleveland sports show from Pittsburgh, PA, as well as the Grab Bag. That's a variety of hosted shows on WSRR Radio, as well as True Vault Escapades. That's the Fallout-based radio drama at 10 p.m. Thanks again to Synergy Music Studio, GenericClothes.com, and Hellbender Vinyl for supporting local music and independent music scene. Again, for more showtimes, schedules, and more, that's WSRRradio.com.